Every artist has their own unique journey for how they are trained and come up into the art world and their career. Today, I'm going to share candidly my own journey for a couple of reasons. First, because if you are new to the art world, you wanting to make your career as an artist, it could be encouraging for you to hear the journey that I have been on, because on social media, it's very easy to see excellent painting after excellent painting being posted by artists you admire and want to emulate, and you don't have the context of the hundreds of paintings that they have made in the past that have been the foundation building blocks towards making that painting. And if you're a more seasoned artist, it might take you down memory lane to the time when you were a student, when you were scraping by, when you got your first award, etc., etc. We're going to dive right into when I was 7 years old. This is the time when I got my first art supplies that were serious. They weren't Crayola brand. I had stopped sucking my thumb, and my father had made a deal with me that if I would stop sucking my thumb at night, he would take me to Michael's and we could pick out any art supplies I wanted. And I still remember getting my first charcoals and my first artist's markers and a really nice sketchbook, and having this feeling that I needed to make really great art with these great art materials. So I kept drawing longer past the time when most children usually stop because they become embarrassed. And at 14, I took my first oil painting workshop. And then I just was oil painting non-stop, but not my own work because I didn't understand value. I didn't know how to draw very well, so I was doing a lot of copies. Now we fast forward to when I was 17, and this is really one of the pivotal points in my career. I was graduating high school, and I realized I had this nagging feeling that I really did want to be able to paint my own paintings because I loved it so much, but I could only copy. So I started to reach out to people in my network for advice. Should I go to art school? Or is there another option? And a childhood art teacher, the one who first taught me oils at 14, recommended taking workshops rather than enrolling in the local art school at my community college or local college nearby. And that was the best advice that I could have received. I am so grateful for it. I started taking workshops and got plugged immediately into the art world of artists whose work I so admired and wanted to make. So that first workshop I took would have been in 2015. I would have been 17. And I realized I couldn't draw, I didn't know what value was, I had no idea what color temperature was, etc. I was overwhelmed. But I had all of the tools I needed because I knew what value was. I suddenly knew what color temperature was, and there was this huge art world opened up to me of artists. So I started taking workshops about 4 a year for the next 4 years, and it was really just this windfall of information and inspiration. I got connected to the Portrait Society of America and had so much inspiration. I remember that would have been when I was 18, the first time I went to Portrait Society. I was sitting in the crowd, and my mom was with me, and she said, what do you think about all this? And I don't remember this, but she retells it very nicely that I turned and said, I'm going to be up there. And I wanted to have my work on the walls as a finalist. I wanted to make work as beautiful as the work that I was seeing. So roughly 4 years later, 10 to 12 workshops in total later, I'm now 19 years old, and my work is suddenly starting to get into shows. I've been getting into the local shows for the last couple of years, selling them, maybe getting a few awards locally, but now I'm starting to be able to enter and be getting into regional shows, and my goal was to get into a national show before 20. I made that goal, and then in 2019, when I was 21, there was another shift in my career, and I reached a couple of goals that I had been working so hard for. Painting every single day in between nannying and a desk job that I had to help pay for art supplies. I'm painting, and I am painting so many bad paintings, but not stopping because I had a goal, and I knew that this was the only way forward, was to build my foundation on many terrible paintings that all taught me what not to do, so that eventually I could make a painting that wasn't a constant correction of all the things wrong and just building right choice to right choice to right choice. So at 21 years old in 2019, I painted a couple of paintings that got into some shows that I had made a goal. So locally, I won Best of Show here in Indiana, and then I got into my first international show with the Portrait Society of America, which was such a thrill to get that call. Unfortunately, 2020 happened and the conference never happened and I never got to send my painting, but I learned even more by all of that falling through that my ego was very wrapped up in my paintings up until that point, and I really was relying on all of the praise that I was going to receive and all of the accolades and everyone congratulating me to really carry me through. And I was very insecure as a painter in my own ability. And when all of that was taken away, I was left with, do you actually enjoy creating painting for the sake of painting, or do you just like having nice comments on your work on Instagram and people patting you on the back? And I've discovered I really do just love painting for the sake of painting, and that mindset shift has stuck with me ever since. I'm so grateful that though it was what I was working towards to have a finalist painting and receive this attention, it never happened, so that I could have a much better mindset that would carry me through the rest of my career, decades into the future. Now at 28, I am honestly living a dream that I had envisioned at the young age of 17, and I am painting portraits on the new platform I've just launched with my husband, Broadcasting Brushers, bringing life drawing to artists all around the world. And I just made one of the biggest and most exciting purchases of my career. You can actually see it behind me. Up until this point, I have been painting on an easel that my parents purchased for me from Michaels when I would have been probably around 15 years old for Christmas. I woke up to this easel, and it has long since broken. The piece that holds the painting on up here is broken. It's not very sturdy. I've been painting on it with clamps to keep my paintings up. And the time has come and an opportunity arose to purchase this gorgeous Hughes easel, model 3000, and it's now in my studio in the basement of our home, and I'm so excited for the next 10 years of my journey. I'm so grateful for the past 10 years and all the terrible paintings I did and the amazing experiences, and I know that there will be even more in the future. My encouragement to you as an artist is to press into your dream, press into your goal, and just keep working, keep painting. I might look young, I might be young, but I'm already 14 years into this journey of mine. And I've painted so many paintings that will never see the light of day, that will never show anyone. And in the last 5 years or so is when I've really seen a shift in my ability and in my career, and a level of success that I dreamed of when I first ever picked up a paintbrush. Change and growth and wonderful painting skill doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen with a little bit of effort or a lot of effort every single day. And those 10 years are going to pass anyway. It's sort of a cliche saying, but they're going to pass anyway. So where would you like to be in your artist career 10 years from watching this video? Drop your comment below and let me know. I'd love to encourage you there. I hope you'll consider coming and painting with me in the Broadcasting Brushers. We paint live portraits twice a month for 3 hours from a 4K resolution live stream. It's like you're right in my studio with me, like I'm right in your studio with you, encouraging, sharing my process, and chatting away. It's a real blast. I hope to see you there.